Back in Chicago Stadium, it is Game 3 of the best-of-7 between Detroit and Chicago. Downstairs here in the Chicago locker room area, as the players came out, Michael Jordan came by, didn't say a word, but he smiled big. I did stop Craig Hodges. He said, "Hey, Tim, we're ready. We're loose." Michael talked, not motivational, just normally. The coaches had a different demeanor. They want to stop the early Detroit run-out. They have to stop them early on the transition. They want more offensive boards. Upstairs, more than 19,000 await the fate of Chicago. Dick, QB?
All right, Tim. The lineups, no changes. Dennis Rodman, James Edwards, Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, and Joe Dumars for Detroit. Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant up front with Bill Cartwright the center. John Paxson and Michael Jordan. Chuck Daly says, "I want to get through the emotional rush, hang in, and maybe steal one here." Tell you one thing, UB, if they steal one here today, they're on their way again.
Well, they say they played poorly in 2 buildings. I don't know what poorly means. They've won 9 out of 11 here, but he said that Chicago and the Portland building give them the most trouble.
The officials working Game 3 are Joe Crawford, Dick Bavetta, and Bernie Fryer. Chicago in white control.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Detroit can continue to stop Chicago's penetration off the dribble into the lane. A big factor up to date.
They go low to Cartwright. Grant tips it up and in. What about the other side?
Well, that's nice to see because we've seen very few of those. At the other end, Detroit, very methodical, will stay within what they're doing. A lot of pick-and-roll basketball, and then they will always make the extra pass.
They've been able to penetrate, the guards have. James Edwards, who's been ice cold, hits the first shot. He was fined $3,500 after being ejected in the 4th quarter for slapping Ed Neely, but was not suspended. Just the fine. Thomas the rebound. Jordan taking his first shot. Edwards is 2 for 2. They're getting him off early.
In games 1 and 2, Detroit is continuing to up-tempo, push the ball hard, and try to take advantage of one of the people not getting back.
Bulls have not gotten to the free throw line. Very few offensive rebounds compared to Detroit. Paxson is open for the jumper to tie it up.
See, Paxton and Grant and Bill Cartwright must be included in this offense today. They need shot opportunities in order to break the Detroit defense down.
In other words, other people have to step up, and they haven't yet in the series.
Well, it's hard to step up if you don't get any shot attempts, Dick.
6 on the shot clock. Edwards is 2 for 2. Misses his first, and Pippen with the rebound.
Strong defense by Cartwright.
This is a very good half-court defensive team, the Bulls. Pippen tries to force the pass to Grant. Dumars is there. Bulls get back on defense. And Dumars misses long range.
See, we made the point. Chicago, once you penetrate into the lane, you have to know whether you got a shot opportunity or a pass.
Scottie Pippen.
Now, speaking of a pass, when they take away the lane, you have to find the free people and then knock down the open shot.
Pippen picking up Thomas on the switch. Isaiah Thomas is having a horrendous shooting first 2 games. And you know, sooner or later, he's going to explode. Bulls lead by 2. Jordan, Dumars smothers him in a pass. Joe Dumars is blanketing Jordan.
The main thing is when you play against Detroit is as soon as you make the catch, you have to be in a shooting position. The reason, they rotate and they attack you to try to intimidate the shooter.
Joe Dumars, the MVP of the finals last year, looks like he wants to wrap it up before he even gets that far this season. Edwards has hit 3 out of 4. He came in hitting only 31% from the field.
Well, they're determined to get him off. He said he's not injured. He's been getting his shots. He's just been missing.
Great pass from Cartwright to Grant. Smothered inside. Here come the Pistons. Crowd wanted a foul. Thomas penetrates and lays it in. Terrific defense, and then Thomas on the penetration.
Well, everyone wanted a foul, but you know, that's Detroit. Once you make a reputation of ferocious intimidation and shot blocking, and you get there, you'll get away with a lot of physical bumping.
But at least it's good that the Bulls are looking that way to go inside early.
Absolutely, Dick. They're going down in there. That's a good sign.
Cartwright. And they'll call an offensive foul on Bill Cartwright with the elbow.
Well, Dick Pavetta is calling. Dick Pavetta is catching him on a clear out, and that's okay. Now here's Cartwright on the 2 plays ago. There's your double team. Nice pass, but you know when you get in there, you've got to go stronger than that opportunity by Graham.
Pistons continue to look for James Edwards.
And why not? He's off to a great start.
Paxson gets in there and commits the foul.
Well, you and I both know there's no way that these 3 referees are going to be right today anytime the ball goes against Chicago Bulls.
That's why they call it a home court advantage if there is one. And the Bulls, by the way, are unbeaten 5-0 in postseason here. But they're going to have to stop the penetration, and I don't know whether the Bulls have people to stop Johnson, Dumars, and Vinnie Johnson from getting inside.
Well, they're a very underrated defensive team. They're pretty good. The only thing I didn't like is that they're not challenging the shot in the paint. The guys are getting off the shot rather easy.
Paxson loses the ball. Dumars and Thomas sandwiched him. 4 turnovers by the Bulls, and now Detroit commits their first turnover of the game.
Let's talk about the Bull turnovers, Dick. You see, that's why we said at the top of the show, it's such a big factor in this series that if you penetrate and you have no place to go and you end up in a turnover, Detroit's going to be in the open floor.
Describe McDonald's in 3 little words.
3 little words. Big Mac, fries, Coke.
Clean, clean, clean.
Butch, Gerald, David. See, I met them all right here.
Toy, Happy Meals.
Fresh, deaf, cooking. Extraordinary, innovative, convenient.
Filet-O-Fish.
You know the one, McDonald's.
Food, folks, fun.
Yum, yum, yum.
You've just discovered your car has a clear coat finish, which your ordinary wax just ruined. Simonized non-abrasive wax won't scratch today's clear coat finishes, and that'll save you a lot of grief.
You don't have to be crazy about home projects to buy a Black & Decker cordless screwdriver or cordless screwdriver plus. You just have to have a screw loose.
Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball!
You got a thirst.
Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball!
You know what you need.
Give me the ball!
Fluids and minerals fast.
Give me the ball!
Energy for hard-working muscles.
Gatorade!
Nothing better. Give me some of that Gatorade.
Monday, it's an all-new Dave Thomas Show with John Candy. For comedy that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, join John Candy on the Dave Thomas Show Monday at 10:30.
The Pistons won by 9 points in each of the first 2 games at the Palace. Joe Dumars having a tremendous series thus far, holding Chicago to 38% Detroit's defense. Notice that Chicago can't get 100. Johnson had 18 points and 8 rebounds. Although once again, Dumars with 27 and 31 leading scorer of both games.
Now you'll see the difference in the penetration. Here's a pick and roll. Now watch the rotator, Scottie Pippen, come in here, and you see how he steps away and allows the shot. You cannot do that anytime that you have guys who are challenging the rim, because at the other end of the floor, what is resulting is they are taking their body, cutting off your lane, and we're getting turnovers.
Here's pressure by Detroit.
Detroit in a 2-2-1 press.
Pippen going around Edwards, gets the basket, and draws the foul.
Bill Laimbeer had a good point. You know, he went right to Dick Pavetta and said he cleared me out with his left hand. Yes, he did, but he did get the shot up, and you'll see the attack. Now watch that left hand as it goes right out. Now there it is, and that's the only way that shot could have gotten off. But you know, Dick, you like the spirit of what Chicago's trying to do today.
Scottie Pippen with a 3-point play. And here comes the pressure, and this is what the Bulls used to some success in Detroit.
It's a 1-2-1-1 full court trap.
And they get it over to Edwards. They didn't use that much time off the clock, though, to get it across. They still have 12 seconds. Edwards against Cartwright. Basket, no basket.
No basket.
And they're going to call the foul against Dennis Rodman, setting a pick. Illegal pick on Rodman.
Well, that was an excellent call. Joey Crawford and Bernie Fryer both had it way before. And you'll see right here, now here it is here, Rodman hooked Paxson. The whistle was blown before the shot was taken.
By the way, the foul on Detroit, the other side was on Lane Beer that sent Pippen to the line. Horace Grant hits the shot, and the Bulls lead by 1.
As long as Chicago continues good shooting percentage on the perimeter, it will eventually loosen up everything underneath.
They're shooting 39 for the first 2 games, and Thomas hits a 3-point basket. Here's a guy who is shooting under 30% coming into this game, Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, but Zeke is home. Come on, come on.
He is home. Chicago is his hometown. Same for Mark Aguirre, who we'll see off the bench. 6:40 remaining in the first quarter. Edwards on Pippen now. Pippen runs into Lane Beer and scores anyway. Scottie Pippen playing a lot more aggressively to start this game than he did in the first 2.
Oh, he saw the mismatch.
Thomas, who penetrated for a couple of hoops early, misses the layup. Paxson all the way in. And Jordan and Rodman will jump it up on a held ball.
Watch out.
Little push. Rodman had pushed Jordan away, and Dick Bavetta gets Dennis Rodman out of there.
Now watch, here's Paxson really gone. Now what they're saying here is that Lambier is underneath. So you're not going to get a charge, and you're not going to get a block in that situation. He's underneath the rim.
Controlled by Detroit, but what we know already in this first quarter is that this is going to be a wild game.
Well, in high school and college, you would get either a charge or a block there. But in the NBA, that's an area that they call, as a matter of fact, they do not call a thing.
Whistle, no basket, and a foul away. A legal defense called against the Chicago Bulls, but just the spirit of this first quarter indicates that we're in for a tight ball game today.
Yeah, I want to go back to that point about under the basket. What they do not want to do is to subscribe to getting underneath guys as they're flying in for the dunks, where you could have serious injury to players.
And a Bulls foul away from the ball. It'll be their second team foul. And Horace Grant committing his first. Under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Tied at 13. Both teams shooting the same. 6 out of 10 from the field. Dumars can do no wrong. 27 and 31 points, and Joe Dumars now with his first basket.
Detroit is doing the pick and roll business and then opposite the floor. Excellent.
Jordan misses the rebound. Thomas. Paxson, his ankle a lot better than it was. It was a sprained ankle. They're going to call the offensive foul against the Pistons. Paxson hit the deck.
All right, now keep an eye on Michael Jordan, who's right in the center of your screen. Here's your back pick, see, and they're looking for Dumars on the opposite side of the floor.
Foul is on Edwards. Paxson looking a lot more spry in this game. Pistons with the ball and a 2-point lead.
Well, Chuck Daly's telling Isaiah, slow it down. Let's get in and call some definite half-court execution. They're going to play 3-man basketball right now. Isaiah, Dumars, and Edwards.
Dumars in the paint. Lane Beer with Grant in his face. Grant really came at him, and that affected Lane Beer. So now the Bulls with a chance to tie it up. Jordan goes right around Dumars, and a beautiful move. His hip must be okay.
That
it would
was
have to
sensational. He changed hands beautifully and slithered right down inside and took on the big people.
First basket of the game for Michael Jordan. Comes with less than 4.5 to go in the first period. Into Rodman against Grant. Bulls doing a lot better job off the boards.
Not only that, Horace Grant has really been challenging the release of at least 3 shots, forcing them into misses.
Jordan hits a 3. And the Bulls are up by 3 points, their biggest lead. Both teams shooting the lights out thus far. Dumars. Grant with another rebound. This is Chicago's kind of tempo. Jordan looked like he was going to shoot, and I think Scottie Pippen thought he was going to fire.
Yep. Well, here we have Michael coming off. You'll see the beautiful change at the red. Now watch how he challenges Lambier there with the left hand. The old advantage when you can shoot with either hand inside the painted area. That last pass by Michael was a little too hard in such a, contested area.
Lane Beer on the ground. Rodman going, and we'll have a Detroit foul. And it's going to be against Dennis Rodman. Second on Dennis.
Keep an eye on Rodman on the back pick here now. See, he moved, and he picked Paxson off. And I like what the referees are establishing here today. They are not allowing any moving picks on people, and that's terrific. And the players will adjust as we move along.
Dennis Rodman will move along to the bench and be replaced by Mark Aguirre back home in Chicago, who has done well coming off the bench.
Well, Chuck Daly loves to keep guys so that they do not get their third in the first half.
Aguirre is guarding Scottie Pippen, and Grant lays it in. Aguirre is going to have his hands full defending against Pippen.
Well, there's a slight drop-off from defensive foot movement from Rodman to Aguirre. Okay.
And hand movement and body movement. That's true. Under 3 minutes to play in the first. Aguirre in there to score. Thomas gets inside again and draws the foul. No basket. Thomas already with 7 points to lead the Pistons, and will go to the line, but there's a timeout.
Now watch as Pippen goes to the baseline. Enjoy the beautiful pass right there. How's that for finding a free guy?
But it looks like Isaiah Thomas is going to get cooking today.
The Tour de Light is rolling across America.
Where's Woody?
And they might be coming to your town with lots of instant prizes. If a Miller Lite biker spots you holding a Miller Lite, you could win up to $10,000 and a Raleigh bicycle. So pick up the less filling beer that really tastes great, and you might pick up $10,000 as the Tour de Light races across America.
Next time you experience headaches, backaches, nausea, and sleepless nights, there is one way to get relief fast. GMAC. We make financing and leasing your new GM vehicle painless.
We asked the International Motorsports Association to challenge the top 4 compact 4x4s in a test of climbing power in the Baja.
The Baja. Off-road racing doesn't get any tougher.
All 4 powered up the hill. But Chevy S10 left the others in the dust. The new 1991 Chevy S10, kicking dirt and taking names.
The heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
The only thing more stunning than the scenery is the competition. A stellar field competes at the Bell South Atlanta Golf Classic today.
After 2 rounds of the Bell South Atlanta Golf Classic, on the leaderboard, Larry Mize has a 1-stroke lead over Howard 20. Nick Price also in there, and 4 tied at 6. Coverage will continue on CBS Sports with 3rd round action. But how about action on the floor during the timeout?
We're trying to appreciate the moves of the adults who are running up and down here, but this guy's got it all.
Whitney Houston, who sang the national anthem, is captivated. He's darling. She gave a rendition of the anthem before the game that really set this place off, I think.
One of the loudest and longest ovations I've ever heard for any person singing a national anthem, and the quality was incredible.
John Sally is also into the game now for Detroit. By the way, Horace Grant has picked up his 2nd personal foul, but he stays in the game. The Bulls have scored the last 7 points over the last 3 minutes, but Thomas is on the line, shooting 2. Thomas coming back to Chicago. It's talked about how he wanted to play with the Chicago Bulls. He used to sneak into this arena. The he's happy where he is.
I think so. He shot so well in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. But he loves this building, and he usually plays well here.
Michael Jordan off the glass, and there's Horace Grant crashing the boards. Where have these guys been?
He is really alive today. That's his 5th rebound, and most important, his 2nd putback. That is something which has been missing throughout games 1 and 2.
Well, the Bulls are out rebounding Detroit on a 2-to-1 ratio right now. Far cry from the 2 games at the Palace. Doesn't go in for Thomas. Rebound by Scottie Pippen. This is the kind of game the Bulls want. Open court. Under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Pippen trying to take Aguirre in. Sally last touched it, and it's still Chicago's ball.
The main thing is not to force right now. Chuck Daly has his explosive offense out there. He has, the 3 major subs, Vinnie Johnson, Sally, and Aguirre. And this is the unit which they've had a lot of trouble matching up with.
Grant goes out with 8 points and 5 rebounds and is replaced by rookie Stacey King from Oklahoma, who Phil Jackson said yesterday to us, our most successful post-up player against this team.
Well, early in the year, he would get the opportunities, but he was shooting in the low 30s. As the season wore on, familiarity of getting the ball. But they need him also on the boards, Dick. He's got to play big underneath.
Ball knocked away from Cartwright. Scottie Pippen misses on the other side, and Vinnie Johnson, who has entered the game. So the great bench that has made the difference now in their full force for the Pistons. Plenty of time on the clock. Working against Pippen is Aguirre. And he draws the foul nicely, and Scottie Pippen picks up his first foul, and that is the 4th team foul against the Bulls.
Mark Aguirre is such a great offensive player. A lot of people, you have a tendency to realize here's a guy who, he's doing it right now, but look at this, 8 rebounds a game that he's averaged for this ball club in 23 minutes. Major stats, because when you think of Aguirre, you think of scoring. 9 years before this season, averaged 24 a game. This year, it's his lowest in his career, 14 points. But when you get limited minutes, you got to make the most of the minutes, and he's doing it.
Detroit has committed only 1 team foul in this first quarter, which has 1:22 to go. Paxson's played all the way in the quarter. Cartwright facing Edwards with 7 on the shot clock. That's the kind of shot Cartwright wants to attempt.
Well, he's laid a few right in the rim, Dick. No luck so far today. Just hasn't dropped.
Jordan is guarding Vinnie Johnson. Pick and roll doesn't work, and it goes past Edwards, who was mad at himself for not catching that pass.
Yeah, but Cartwright got a hand on that. A little exasperation that time by Edwards. Good defense by Billy Cartwright. When you're not doing your job offensively, things aren't going well, then rebound, play defense, make other things happen.
And Scottie Pippen, who's been a whirling dervish going to the hoop throughout this first quarter, foul going to the hoop. Personal is on Sally, his first, and Pippen will shoot.
Well, he talked to Phil Jackson yesterday. He said that Scottie has had such difficulty getting to the basket. They have taken away his drive by double teaming him. Now that's the first time that he's been able to explode and get up in the high wire act.
Interesting substitution coming in for the Bulls. Not so much Craig Hodges, their shooting guard, but Will Perdue coming in, and he's a guy who hasn't played yet in this series.
Well, they said that Neely has been doing a good job, and with Neely and King in there, along with Scottie Pippen, they like their rotation. This is a surprise.
Cartwright and Paxson go out. Differential of about 14 seconds between the game clock you see and the shot clock. Aguirre to Sally, blocked by Perdue. Sally has it again, and Jordan's going to be called for the foul.
So we had a good and a bad. Will Perdue blocks the shot, But then as the ball is going out of bounds, the Cardinals' sin is never throw the ball back underneath your defensive backboard. Something bad will happen. Now watch this. Watch Purdue react here now. Excellent job on the shot block. But on the throw back, Sally gets it and then gets fouled. He's on the line.
John Sally, who raises his level a year ago, had a so-so regular season, played big in the playoffs. This year had a good regular season, again playing big in the playoffs.
Hey, this guy, this is his 58th foul shot attempt in the playoffs.
Offensive rebound on the miss by Aguirre. Chicago can play for the last shot of the quarter, and Detroit has not made a basket in the last 5 minutes plus.
Now this is a good situation. Now they're flattening out 4 guys on the baseline and allowing Pippen to take his man.
Jordan is guarded by Vinnie Johnson. Jordan will take the shot. And that'll do it for the quarter, but the Bulls coming back with the lead and terrific late period defense. Horace Grant with 8 points and 5 rebounds spurs on the Bulls, and that is the end of the first quarter in Game 3 with a score: Chicago 24 and Detroit 19.